Hi, y'all. Hey, everybody.
Right. I'm like, there.
Do we see? We got our Black Lives Matter on the screen, and now we are revealing. Hello.
Ooh.
Hi, Stream Queens Con. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are back. It is day 2. I hope that y'all are feeling fabulous and stunning. And most importantly, hello, Black people.
Hey.
I hope y'all.
I'm black.
We out here. We black on. I hope that we are
We're
all
black in action.
doing fabulous. I'm so excited. My name is I'm Betty Black because everywhere I go, people say, "I'll bet he moderating the black panel," and they're right. Welcome on in. We have some incredible drag talent here, some black drag talent up in the house, and we're going to let everybody just introduce themselves one by one by one by one. We have some incredible visibility panels for y'all this Stream Queens Con. This is our first visibility panel. We're going to be touching base with so many people from different backgrounds, different walks of life, and this is where Stream Queens Con came from. It came from our visibility panels and just the overwhelming need that we all see to put on our people of color, our people of different abilities, our people of different identities. And we really need to make sure that we're holding it down for one another. And today, right now, for the next hour, it's all about blackness, damn it. What is up?
Yes.
Right over here, we have, speaking of Wakanda, right over here, we have the lovely Aphasia Speaks. So speak on it, Aphasia. Tell the people about yourself.
Hi, yes, hello. My name is Aphasia. I go to Facebook here on Twitch.tv, variety drag streamer, one of the newest members of Team Stream Queens. Yes, I so excited to do this. I've been doing drag for about a year and a half, but I have grown so much, and I'm so excited to be here. And because I gotta say, Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter. Yeah.
Yes.
Good.
Remember that.
So that's me. Hi.
Welcome, Aphasia. And right over here, we're gonna pass it over to our Stream Queen sibling, London Bradshaw. Tell the people, London.
Hi, I'm London Bradshaw. I will say it till the day I die. I'm a black digital content creator here on showwitch.tv//London Bradshaw. I'm a non-binary drag artist, which is why I'm wearing no wig, because black is king. And I am a variety streamer here, and I play a lot of video games, but mostly Dead by Daylight. I promised people that I would finish Alien Isolation, but we'll see how that goes.
Retweet.
You still haven't finished that, girl?
No, not at all. That game's frightening.
Oh, we're touching. We're going to touch on one of the topics is black people in precarious situations and how we don't do that. So we'll get there. Listen, or actually, we won't get there. But speaking of Black is King, we have a drag king on the panel tonight as well. I'm so happy that we got Luke Me in the house. Luke Me.
Hi.
Look at he. Look at me. Where you at? Tell us about yourself.
Hi there. Yeah, I'm so happy to be a guest here. I'm not officially part of Stream Queens yet, but I am a longtime lover of Stream Queens, and I'm so honored to be here. My pronouns are he, him, they, them, and drag. I do a variety of streaming between showing how I make my drag outfits, as well as I just got a PS4, so you can watch me stumble through games and miss all my skill checks in Dead by Daylight. And that's me.
Love. So happy to have you, Luke. And that you look warm. I love that.
I'm cozy.
Come on.
I love to be cozy.
And I'm gonna remind everyone that Luke and Me said not part of Stream Queens yet. I'm just gonna leave that out.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say that.
I love that.
No, I've been getting pressure.
Stream
We're going
Queens.
live. We're going to get it going.
I'm just
It was
saying.
passively assertive
get it going.
comment, and I appreciate it.
Feel free to slide into our DMs. And right here, Mickey, let's do like a Brady Bunch. Oh, hi, Mickey Mirage in the house.
Oh,
Yes.
Jan.
Just Jan. Mickey.
Just.
Oh, that's Mickey Mirage. Just Jan. That's
It's
the intro.
Jan now. It's Janny Mirage. Janny Majan, actually. Hi, you guys. My name is Mickey Mirage. I am the magically melanated pixie princess of drag here on Twitch. I'm very new to the platform, 5 months in, a fairly new member of Team Stream Queens. It's been such a lovely experience. I want to ask, I don't know yet, but I've been doing drag for 5 years, so I might be the oldest drag queen on the panel. Because are you older than me, London?
I think 5.5.
Okay, so you get it. Like drag queen years are like dog years. So we're
Yeah,
old
we're dying.
biddies. We're literally like on our deathbeds.
Who let
just
the
like,
dogs out? I didn't mean to do that.
girl, we're just slowly lip syncing toxic into the void, like as we go.
Oh
Just
my
like that.
god.
But yes, please come on over to twitch.tv/Mickey Mirage. Anytime I stream a variety of games, mostly RPGs. I'm an RPG queen. I love things like Pokemon. I do Temtem. Lately, we've been playing World of Warcraft, of which I am a Shadow Priest and a Blood Elf for the Horde. Get into that. As well as on Sundays, I host as the Dungeon Mistress for a D&D drag show, and it's really fabulous. So feel free to come on over and pluck my daisy sometime.
Ooh, you had a plug.
Honey.
Oh, you better come on, details. Details.
Honey.
Wonderful.
What you know about my tail?
Ooh, not enough. We're gonna find out in the next hour. Stay tuned. And of course, ravishing in red, we have Red Ivy in the house. Hi, Ivy.
Hi. My name's Red Ivy. You can find me over on Twitch. But with 2 Y's, not just one, just 2 Y's in my name. 2 Y's. Remember the Y, or you're gonna find some other channel that's not, active or whatever. But yeah.
You're gonna be asking why.
Yes, truly. Well, I am a trans variety streamer on Twitch. I play a lot of games, mostly Dead by Daylight and Sims mainly. One of my most favorite games. Yeah, I don't really know else, but yeah.
You said it all, Ivy. Black trans lives matter. We are so happy to have, even amongst a panel of Black people, we got diversity in the house. We are doing the damn thing. And I just thanks y'all for being here. Thank you, audience, for being here with us as well. And since we're on Twitch, let's start with the real. And we're gonna be talking about a variety of topics. We're gonna be being Black as hell, so just get into it. So we're gonna talk about video games first. So I want to hear not only what like the first video game was that like really impacted you, but sort of like also let's all talk about like Blackness in video games, or lack thereof, or black thereof.
I can't.
But so yeah, let me know what the first game that really got you into gaming was, and then just let me know a little bit of your thoughts on how you do or don't see yourself in the gaming world. Who wants to jump in?
I can start. Oh, no, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead, Aphasia.
Okay. So my love of video games started when the Sega Genesis came out. I'm dating myself.
Ooh.
I was like probably 3 or 4, maybe like 4 or 5 at the time, somewhere in that range. And I remember playing Sonic Adventure, Sonic the Hedgehog, for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. I cannot get the game out of my head. And then my dad got horrible. My dad got Mortal Kombat 2 on the Sega Genesis. And I was like, I'm playing this game. I played a little bit of Katana and Sonya Blade at first, but because gay, I didn't know at the time, but you always do it, but right? Is he,
we have questions, we need answers.
But I played a lot of Raiden, and so I learned his his little teleport like across the stage move, and I just mastered that immediately. And I kept beating my dad, and he couldn't play with me anymore because he like rage quit on me one day. So after that, I was playing Mortal Kombat by myself, and then ever since then, it just like
you've never spoken to your father ever again. Yeah, that's where the daddy issues started. I see. I'm sorry, I didn't know that was what this panel was about to be about. But I'm here for the ride. I'm here to hear these demons.
Welcome to Projecting 101. I love that
Phaedra, I'll
though.
be your daddy.
Yeah. Okay. Mickey is
Okay.
trying. Mickey, this is not blackpeoplemeet.com.
Oh, I'm sorry. I gotta turn my fan on.
This is
It's
where
a little
black
hot
people
in here for
meet.
me.
This is where blackpeoplemeet.com. Shout out to the
It's not like
.com.
me. Yeah.
But yes. So
I
yeah.
just spilled my
Yeah.
orange juice.
So Aphasia was. This is a mess. So Aphasia was getting down on some Sonic the Hedgehog, some fighting game realness. Shout out to
Yes,
our
Sonic the
our
Hedgehog
female
fighting
fighters that we
game.
always love to play as.
Yes.
Mickey, what
And
what
then-
you got? Oh, I'm sorry.
So,
Okay, no, yeah, no, I'm done. Yeah, go ahead.
I actually also, I believe the first, it's hard to, I can't quite remember, but I think the first game I ever played was also on Sega. But I think it was the Lion King game. If y'all
Sega!
remember that.
Oh my
that,
God.
There was like
That
this
game was
Lion King
so
game, and it was
hard.
hard as fuck. Like I couldn't even beat the first level.
It's
It
in the
was
Steam
too damn
store.
much.
It's in the Steam store.
Is
Yes.
it?
Is it really in the Steam store? I don't want to
Lion King, Hercules, and Aladdin.
I have trauma blocked it out. It was very difficult. But maybe I was just too young. However, I will say like the more formulative experiences in gaming, because I have been a gamer since the beginning, were definitely Pokemon. Like Pokemon got me good, got me in. I have played every single last one except Sword and Shield because I have standards. And no, I really do love those games. And then a lot of RPGs got me. So I played a lot of Japanese RPGs in particular. And so in reference to the second part of that question, without getting too hot and heavy right to begin with,
Trying to be
there's
people's
not
daddies.
a lot of girl daddies in the chat.
Come on,
This
hot
one's
and
for
heavy.
you.
She said not to get hot and heavy, but Aphasia, you can be my daddy. Anyway.
Right?
We can take turns. We can swap. We're verse queens here.
Anti-way.
Speak for yourself. I'm a bottom all the way.
Sometimes you'll wear the wig
I'm a
and I
top.
won't. Sometimes I won't. And see, we can flip it on.
Word, yeah. You get the pigtails.
They said,
That
Betty,
is the
you,
best thing
you
about
got
gaming.
black in your name. You can handle all the black people, right? Absolutely not. I cannot.
Absolutely.
Deborah Cox said, absolutely not.
But as far as representation goes, I didn't see a lot of people of color of any variety in gaming growing up, especially considering a lot of the games that I played were Japanese RPGs, and Japanese culture specifically does not have a very diverse range of skin tones, let's say. How I can politely say that within their media in general, and definitely not in gaming. In fact, this is actually one of my best friends from high school is a beautiful Puerto Rican woman, and she and I always commiserated when we were younger about, by that time in high school, they were starting to once in a while offer the option of changing your character's skin tone to be darker, which is exciting. However, we always were upset because they never got it right. So if you go back and play old games, if there is even an option to be a brown person or black person in the game, they don't know how to color or shade our skin tones, so they would always look gray. Like all of the dark skinned characters always had this like gray cool tone cast on them, and I'm like, girl, like no, bitch, they don't have lotion in that universe. Like what's happening here?
We're not the Ghost Sisters here from the Proud Family, okay?
Absolutely. So that was kind of the issue. It's like they finally gave us the option to put people of color in games, and then they still don't even know how to represent us well. So
they don't. And it's a problem that, and we'll get into this more, but we can see that it's a problem that like has taken on different and the same forms over time. But more on that real soon.
Absolutely.
Ivy, what was the first game that got you into gaming?
I think for me, I remember going to a swap meet with my family, and I saw The Sims 2 for like the PlayStation 2.
Yes.
That's what got me in the game, and it's to this day, The Sims 2 is gonna be it's my all-time favorite game. But like, I specifically loved it so much for me because I hadn't seen a lot of simulation. Sims is a life simulation game. So I've never really heard of the concept of like a life simulation game until then. And so to when I got it, and to like when I first started playing it, like to think that I could be able to just create myself in that world, in the game with like phenomenal to me. Because I was like, oh my god, I can live a life in this game however I wanted to, and I really appreciate that. Even though like okay, even though as the Sims, because Sims is a very popular game. There's like the current generation is the Sims 4.
Yeah.
There has been issues over time about having darker skin tones in the game, especially with the most recent game, Sims 4, where there was a huge widespread claim about how The Sims 4 did not have any had very few darker skin tones, and the ones we did have were very ashy, so or very splotchy. So it's very even though The Sims have very much shaped me of how I've played it my entire life, and
Yeah.
how I've loved it because of how much I can create myself. But then it feels like over time they kind of I feel over time if they've taken a step back, and we still there's still only recently they did add a whole they had 100 plus skin tones, and for the game to be able to have actually fully customized. So I'm very happy that they finally did that, but it took a while for it to
Yeah.
finally be able to happen. That I can finally create my actual self and my actual skin tone in the game.
Definitely. And we see that.
Yeah.
I feel like we all might sort of experience that in some way, where we sort of look away from the poor representation parts of some of these things, and sort of just take the good pieces and keep it running.
Mm.
And I feel like we sort of have taken that, because that is sort of what we deal with in a lot of different industries when it comes to how we're represented, whether it's TV, movies, video games. And we're just like, you know what? It's still lit. We're having a good time. But it's so nice to just see the things start to come to fruition and actually get better.
Yep.
London,
Yeah.
Luke wants to let us know about your first game experience.
I can go. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
go
feel
ahead.
like oh,
Go ahead,
oh,
Luke.
Yeah.
I feel like I've had a weird sort of background where I feel like I wasn't a huge gamer as a kid, but because was more of my brother's thing, and so I was always that annoying little sister that would tag on there, play games with him. But I feel like the things that were more for me, were more like PC games. So Zoom Beanies. I don't even remember
I remember
that.
that game. Yes.
But on the yeah, super, and I feel like that's also indicative where I'm now, of all these little blue people, and I feel like that was sort of I always gravitate toward things where you were dealing with non human things, and so for me my representation was just these are little blue beans, it doesn't matter what skin tone they are, because it's they're not even human, and so
Yeah.
I don't know, so I feel like a lot of the things I gravitated towards didn't even involve human beings. So it's interesting now that I do play more games like Mortal Kombat and Dead by Daylight that have humans, and start looking at okay, let's look at what the representation is, because so many of the games I gravitated toward as a kid weren't even about human beings, and so therefore they weren't even looking at the skin tone of those characters. And
Yeah.
so yeah, I don't know, so that, as well as DDR was a really big thing for me. I don't know if you remember, it's that scene from Confessions of a
DDR?
Teenage Drama Queen. Yeah, and
Yes.
Yes.
Lindsay Lohan and Megan Fox are
Oh my god.
battling it out, and the local
Yes.
laser tag
Yes.
place at my town had one of those, and I was like, that was my dream, to be that person that was in a tournament at DDR and
Oh my
beat everyone. Was like,
God.
yeah,
Were
what
you a
about
heavy
that?
king? Were you a king
What?
of heavy?
Oh,
King of Heavy.
fully.
That's what it's called, right? The hardest.
Yeah, that's the
mode is
hardest
heavy.
difficulty.
Oh
Yeah.
yes.
Oh my god, yeah, I that was my workout. You could not get me to do sports, but if you got me on DDR, I would be on the hardest setting, being that
Yeah.
was me. But yeah, but again, it was just one thing for
That
yeah,
was the
very
ballroom.
bad.
DDR was
it
the
was
ballroom back before we knew
Oh
what
my
other gays were.
Period.
fully, yeah,
We didn't
Period.
know other
there.
gays.
I'm about
We
to
didn't
get
know
yeeted
gays
from my
that were
own
gay.
chat, from my
You
own.
brought it to the ball.
Not
Category
DDR
is
was the
Yeah.
ballroom, honey. Oh my
Fully,
multitasking,
that was my
ass
first
is
goal.
shaking.
It was
I think that's really interesting, though, Luke, that you sort of immediately
yeah,
gravitated toward games that didn't really consider race or human form at all, and I think that's really interesting. London, How'd you get here? What's going on?
So this is like this is a long drawn out thing. I am half black, half Dominican. But my parents are white, so I'm adopted. So they tried to like my parents were like, "Oh, well, let's teach you Spanish and like let's get you one with culture." And I was like, okay. So like I really never thought about like race and games, but they would try to push things on me to like, like you're black, so like this is what we want you to experience because things will happen in life like things like that. So basically they gave me Spyro. Spyro was the first game that I ever played on PlayStation. But they're like, this game is about a dragon who's black. And I was like, do you think that because the dragon is purple that they're black?
Ooh.
And I was like, I think my mom's a racist. Like, I think you tried, but I think that you should like let me hang out with black people before you try to like say this is what you should do. So like I have always thought about race in games. And then I've always thought about like, is Spyro black?
These are the questions.
We need to know.
There
I was like,
are characters that I feel like we claim as black. You know what I'm saying? The
We
Skeeters.
talked about this earlier. Skeeter. I said Goofy from Disney.
Yes, you were talking about Goofy.
Goofy is a black single father. Okay.
yeah, Goofy is a black single father.
That is
You
the
cannot
tea.
tell me
The
otherwise,
Goofy movie
okay?
confirmed that. That
Yes.
movie was black as hell.
100%. So
He's an Urkel version of like everyone else's dad. So like, yeah.
I guess like I
London,
did think
sorry.
of like I guess I do think of like I test video games now, and I am actually because like I say I work at Nintendo, which I do, and I test video games. So like when I test video games, I think one of the things that's important to me is the I'm trying to say this without getting fired. I try to make sure skin tone is appropriate. And if not, I'll make sure that we report it for the games that we test. So I'm really glad that Dead by Daylight, for example, has hired probably somebody black to do Elodie because her hair is correct. Like poor Claudette did not get justice.
Oh no, Claudette is
like rest in peace, Claudette. But hello,
black mamas
Elodie,
everywhere
you know
want to
what I
fix
mean?
that hair.
right.
Oh.
If you're not an Elodie main by now, then what are you doing? Like she is stunning.
Hey, you leave my
Yeah.
Claudette alone. The sarong is still hanging on. The sarong is still on, mama.
The sarong is wrong, mama.
The sarong
okay?
is wrong. So continuing with sort of what London was talking about, I think I love hearing that, you know, and seeing that we have more and more black people and people of color in these rooms and in these places, because so often we're wanting to slap around these companies because they're making decisions that could have easily been solved by just having a black person at the table. Shout out to Solange Knowles, seat at the table. But so what are some things that y'all have like seen? What are some, I guess, representations that y'all have seen in video games? I know that for myself, really quick, the first game that got me into gaming was really watching my older brother play video games. I used to watch him play Metal Gear Solid, which I'm currently streaming on my channel. And I used to watch him play Resident Evil, you know, all the shit that I was too afraid to play, and still sometimes am. But there's actually a game that I played recently this year called Black Sad on my stream.
Oh,
if you know, you know. But sort of touching on what Luke was saying about games that don't consider race, that's what I thought this was. It's like a crime sleuthing game, and all the characters are just human, moving, and clothed animals. But about 30 minutes into the game, they reveal that race is a factor. In fact, the game is centered around like race riots and race wars. And white supremacists are illustrated by being these like pristine white huskies that drive around in 50s style vehicles. And the first character in the game that they present as a black character is a fucking gorilla. So I went on a number of rants while that game was while I was playing that game, and I shut it down, shut it all down. So where have y'all seen where have you seen us like poorly represented? And if you can't snatch at a game, like whether it's in TV, movies, whatever it is, how are they? We're being done dirty in a lot of places. So what have y'all seen?
If you're asking where we're poorly represented,
yes.
That is a long answer. We can go on all night about that. However,
I pull up a map of the world.
But like, just hello, let's talk. How much time you got?
Spin the globe.
But, I think the biggest thing I always notice, especially in RPGs, is there's always one Afro option that is seen as like the troll option. So like it's a meme to put an Afro on an RPG character because the lack of representation within the fantasy genre, especially, is so low that like seeing a swordsman or a mage or a
Saz in Final
anything,
Fantasy
literally
13.
anything, an adventurer, any kind of like fantasy inspired character with an afro is automatically seen as a joke. And a lot of times the people who create those characters do so, and they color them with like neon hair, like neon colored afros, and they kind of give this like clown vibe. They have silly names, things like that. And it runs the gamut from like attempted inoffensive clowny comedy to like purposefully like edgy and trying to be funny, or just like ignorant. Whereas it's like for people like, I mean, I'm sure some of us, I know that my actual natural hair is an afro texture, so seeing that portrayed in like a silly way is like, that doesn't make me feel like I'm represented in this world. It doesn't make me feel like I could be that character unless I want to be seen as a joke, which is like, this is how I wake up in the morning. It's not a joke. This is like my life, you know? So
I'm Black. Surprise.
Surprise,
right?
everybody.
Like Ben.
Yes. Oh, right. Exactly. This is actually, I'm glad that you asked me to do this panel because this is my official coming out. I am a Black person.
Oh my god! Because you know it's so easy to hide it. You know what I'm talking about?
It's true.
Wonderful.
I do get
You're not
accused of
invited
doing
to the cookout,
blackface on my
girl.
channel, so it's nice to confirm it here.
Mickey said, "I'm going to see how many times I can attempt to derail the Black panel. Let's do this."
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
No,
I'm sorry.
No, you're killing it.
You invited a fairy along. You have to be ready for a little chaos.
I'm ready for the chaos, ready for the death.
But did you guys know that we're Black?
We're
Like,
black.
do you know?
We're Black.
Oh
You know
my
what's
God.
really
We're
funny?
Black.
We're gonna get back to, but it's. Don't you feel that way sometimes on Twitch? I sort of feel like an anomaly in the
Girl,
Twitch
yeah.
queer scene.
Okay, yes, we definitely yes, and I'll say it for later. I'll say it for later.
Well, we'll get there. I'm just gonna put that out as a feeler. We'll touch
Yeah.
on that theory in a second. But
Uh-huh.
we're talking about poor representation in games. What else have we seen?
Go ahead, Linda.
I would like to. Oh, go ahead, Red Ivy. Go ahead.
I feel like about what Mickey was saying about like about afros in like RPGs and stuff. So like my favorite, like I had that earlier when I was talking about The Sims.
Yeah.
In The Sims 4 specifically, there is an afro hairstyle in there. It's a huge afro hairstyle, but it honestly just looks like a ball of clay.
Yeah.
It's not actually textured to how her hair naturally is.
Right.
And there were multiple hairstyles in the game that there were like black hairstyles in game that were not actually representative towards what our natural hair is.
Yeah.
It's only been recently how they just because they recently started they recently started to update those hairstyles to add like more natural hair. Like I know they updated this one braid hairstyle that added baby hairs, which I thought was an amazing thing for them to do to especially add baby hairs to the hairstyle. So I think it's very even though like it's sorry fix my position. So, even though like I've seen it's just hard.
You got yeah.
Ugh.
It's so real. It's because there's so, and even I'm sitting here like thinking about like all the things that I want to continue to ask in like an hour, and I'm like the world of even just on misrepresentation. We could be here for all of Stream Queens Con on that alone. But
You're
no,
not wrong.
it's hard watching slow progress, and I think that especially with something that seems so simple as like just recoding something or adding a tag. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
Ooh, I want to punch. Ooh, I want to punch somebody.
And I'm also like,
Go.
and, you know,
Sims
and
attack.
like I feel like I also it's kind of also the fault of people like for instance, like I feel like I graduated college almost 4 years ago, and I like I went to theater school. I took a lot of courses in the film department, and it'd be amazing how many people didn't think about like when they do like films of like, oh, I should like cast like diverse cast like the default was white, and so I think it's also a problem of like a lot of these things that people are in schools learning how to create games and how to do these things. I'm not even considering that like the fact that like I was in my senior year of college and people were like, we should have a diverse cast. Like, what? I was like, yeah, like this is not a story that's specific. This is just a love story. It doesn't like why does it have to be all white? Like, stuff like that. It's like people aren't thinking about that, and the fact that it's not being taught is really concerning, and I think that's also a problem. And like I don't know as much about like the gaming world, but I feel like it's the same thing in terms of like there aren't having those conversations. But I was like, even though I haven't been in it, I'm very certain they're probably not having those conversations. And that's the problem is that like, there's people who are like creating something and they're like, well, it's just about the story. I was like, okay, well, it's about the story, but also like, think about the impact that your story is having and like, think about the impact that that thing is having. And if, yes, just because you don't have to think about it every day doesn't mean that the people who could possibly be buying your product are thinking about that or want to be represented. And I think that's the problem is a lot of that is happening. Is that it's not even being considered at a basic level of like getting people into the workforce. They're not thinking about it. And so it sucks that everyone's always like, I hope there's someone Black on the team, but it sucks that it's like hoping that someone Black is on the team. It's like, why not everyone understand how to draw Black people? Like why leave that to the only Black person on the team? And I make the thing that everyone's constantly aware of, like, like I remember like on Twitter seeing some guy being like, let me show you how to draw black hair. And it's like this cute video.
I've seen that TikTok,
wow.
Yes.
Right. And everyone's like, that's so cute.
All of it?
That he literally was like,
all of the black hair?
Like he was like, here's how to do an afro, here's how to do like locks, here's here's how to do braids, like all these different styles. And people were like, in the comments were like, okay, yes, let me. And I was like, why is it that I saw this in like June of 2020, and people were like, "Wow, how do I do that?"
It's that consideration piece. Because so often, if you bring up the piece about just considering it, we're seen as we can be seen as like the overly sensitive Black person or the angry Black person, and it's like, bitch, I'm just a Black person, and you're representing us poorly.
Kind of brief.
Which is also like why I think so. My poorly represented representation for Black is going to send this chat into a frenzy right now. I know I get tilted in Dead by Daylight, but what tilts me mostly, and everybody knows it, is the blackface on the Billy. And I know that we play Dead by Daylight, but like I got into a fight the other night with somebody. I got in a fight with the killer the other night, and just hear me out when I say this is, I will let myself die in Dead by Daylight if I see a Billy or a Bubba, whatever, have blackface on there. And so the other day I told my friend Minx Queen to let me just die on the hook and just let me die. And I died. And then in the after game chat, they said, good game. And I said, hey, maybe think about not playing blackface in 2020 when we're in a Black Lives Matter movement on this video game that's sensitive toward Black people. And they were like, well, it's just like a character's killing its victims. And I was like, okay, well, a white person killing a Black person in a video game is not helping the situation for what movement we're going into. But then they said, I live in Seattle. I live next to the CHOP, which was that big thing during our Black Lives Matter movement here. And then I was like, I also live in Seattle. So then you should obviously know how sensitive it is as a Black person trying to play a video game to see a white person wearing a Black person's face, which is poor representation on all accounts and situations, because we have now racists who want to come into this game and kill Claudette's first and kill Elodie's first and wear that blackface. And it's just poor representation all around. And so like, I will DC, it makes me uncomfortable, and I really wish that if it makes me uncomfortable, then we can imagine any other Black person just trying to simply play a video game and how uncomfortable it makes them. So just like, I can go on for hours about it, but I feel like that's super poor representation. And even when they're just like, it's just a killer killing its victims, I'm like,
yeah, because you and I talked about that, and even like that defense illustrates the issue. It's a killer killing his victims. Who was killing Black people in like in the 50s and now, like people like that were participating in blackface or at least co-signing it. So it's like all paths lead back to the same place, and I think it's so exhausting to have to like continue to, like, as much as I love Twitch, it's such there are so few Black people in comparison to the broader platform that it's some of these conversations come up and these teaching moments get exhausting. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's not our responsibility.
Yeah.
Okoye, I mean, Aphasia, what you got? I didn't say that, by the way. You are serving full Okoye Wakanda. Like, you look so good.
Thank you.
I just think we had to say that.
I left the spear over there next to the lion, so like he's just guarding it or whatever, you know.
I love how it's just like Wakanda in the daytime, and I'm like Wakanda at night. Like it's day and night on this.
Look,
And Susie's in the in between right here. Misrepresentation. What you got?
Misrepresentation. Okay, so like it's kind of like a culmination of like everyone's is like I just have an issue. Like the second or third day that I got on the Stream Queens, Animal Crossing came out with a patch to have like Black people hairstyles.
Oh yeah.
Because before they had a buzz cut and like braids, but they were like gross to look at. And so like I never put them on, right? I was like, whatever. But now that I got these two little buns over here with the baby hairs, and it's super cute. Every outfit is a look. Now I just like it is everything, and I literally cried when I saw that. Like I love Animal Crossing. I'm not like the one of the diehard stands out there, but much like a lot of people out here, Animal Crossing got me through the majority of this quarantine.
Yeah.
Because it came out at the perfect time and it just like soothed my soul while sitting here watching the Tiger King in the background, you know, as one does.
Oh my God. The Lion King is right behind you. How disrespectful.
The Lion King, he's right over there. He's right there.
How dare you talk to me?
Speaking of Aphasia crying while things related to Black people are happening, so to jump to the other side of this, you saw some very positive representation while you were playing the new Spider-Man game, right? Why don't you tell us about that?
Yeah.
I was in the chat. I loved it.
I'm gonna cry just thinking about it. Okay, so if you don't know, the new Spider-Man, Miles Morales, just came out on PS4, PS5. He is half Black, half Puerto Rican, from New York City. Okay. Also, just found out that he is canonically bisexual. So work. Okay.
Come on, by pride.
He's fam. We love it.
Yes.
But I was doing a mission, whatever. I'm swinging by, and I. Later on in the game, you're not supposed to see it because you go there later on in the game. They like give you a mission to see. Not falling out of my outfit.
Ooh, TOS.
We're gonna have a nip slip.
So I swing by and I'm like, I see this giant Black Lives Matter mural on the wall. It is colorful. There is all kinds of beautiful Black children on there. They even have this beautiful Black child in a wheelchair to represent the disabilities as well. I'm just like, I sat there for a minute. If you were there in chat that day, I literally sat there and cried. I was like, this is too much. These developers literally didn't need to do this at all, like at all. But they did it. It was so because the way that I found it was like organically, because I know later on and when you finish all the side missions, they're like, hey, the neighborhood's like, we got you a present. They leave it there at this mural. I just found it and
it was beautiful.
It was beautiful and it was so moving, and I was like, this is everything that I needed, because growing up, like as a huge nerd, I didn't get to see a whole lot of superheroes that looked like me. You know, like I love Batman, I love, you know,
Raven
X-Men and all that stuff, right? So, right? And so it's like the representation I saw of Black people in comic books were limited to like Storm in the X-Men.
Grr.
And like later on, I found out who War Machine was, you know? I'm just like, and then Luke Cage, and I was like, great, but like, what about someone now?
Yeah.
And then he comes out, Miles Morales came out a couple years ago, and then the new Iron person her name is Ironheart, and she's Riri Williams, and she is absolutely everything. She is a super genius with this thick curly hair, and I just love it. And like, I'm so glad to be a nerd now, you know, just like all the representation that's coming through. And yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
that's beautiful. Let's all jump to the happy side of the spectrum. We talked about misrepresentation in games. Where have y'all seen yourselves positively reflected in games?
Oh, wait, I want to have one more thing though, to piggyback off of Luke's comment about, you know, the play or whatever. That was like, we need representation here. Did no one see the beautiful best rendition of Cinderella with Brandy?
I mean,
yeah.
Look, Brandy's Black, stepmother's white, the prince is Filipino, his mom and dad are Black and white. Like, what?
And
Yes.
Whitney,
And it was the best.
And
It
we're
was the
waiting for
best Cinderella
Hallie.
movie ever.
Whitney Houston,
Little
mama.
Mermaid.
Impossible. Like, come on, girl.
Impossible.
I'm
It's
ready for it.
everything.
Yes, come on, you better get that.
It's not impossible.
Aphasia came here
Okay.
on that Disney tip.
Yes, I'm ready for my life to be changed by the new Little Mermaid. That's gonna
Oh,
change my
Oh
life.
my
yes.
god,
I'm
Chloe!
so
I'm so
excited.
sorry,
I'm so
Hallie,
excited.
Hallie, and also
Right.
Hallie is going
and
to
I'm also just
suck
always
the
thinking about
A.
Chloe and Hallie.
Oh yeah, always.
Oh, I
Always.
don't ever stop thinking about them.
Yeah.
I really
Summer
don't.
is
They
not
are the
ungodly hour,
moment.
bitch. This whole year is an ungodly year, so
Oh.
we're into it.
Yeah.
Give it to us.
That
Um,
album got me through quarantine.
100.
It's
Period.
really a good album.
Okay, so let's continue on. Where have we been positively represented in games?
Okay, it's a meme at this point. I know. I'm gonna bring up WoW again.
Do it.
It's a meme. However, after 16 years of this game existing, they
Mhm.
released with this latest expansion about 3 weeks ago a whole slew of character customization options. All the characters of every race, other than like the non-human ones, can be people of color. So now, like the blood elves, which are like known as like the beautiful ones, like the most gorgeous creatures who were all white. Surprise, surprise.
Mhm.
Now have options for darker skin tones. They're not the best, colorings, but they are there now. And on the human sides, the human spectrums who have always had people of color in the game, thankfully, they now have black hairstyle. I was going through and I was like, what? And
Yeah.
like Red Ivy said, they have baby hairs. There was braids with baby
Yeah.
hairs. And I was like, wait, there's baby hairs now, bitch. And the afro has actual like curl pattern in it. Like, okay, it warmed my heart a little bit. I was like, it took 16 years, but it's nice to see that because people are using their voices, people of all colors in the gaming community are not like being quiet about this anymore. The developers are actually making these changes. So that gave me hope.
That's beautiful. That's so awesome to hear. And in a game like WoW that has been set in all of the stone, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's 16 years old at this point. Like, girl,
Yeah.
like it's crazy.
It's a rude teenager right now.
Yeah, it's nice to see like it can change. Like,
yeah,
it sets the precedent that like even if a game says that it's been this way forever, that's not an excuse.
Yeah.
You can always change and you can always be better. So
100%. Who else has a positive representation moment?
Damn, it's like that?
It's like that. I mean, we're illustrating a point. I have one. There's
Red Ivy and Luke and I were like, well, when they
no, and hey, and that's the real. If your sentiment is that you're still waiting, then speak on it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Still waiting.
But
I think I'm still waiting. Yeah, I'm still waiting.
Yeah. How does that? I guess sort of can let's opine on that. What is that? So I guess where does that come from in comparison? Like when you think about the games that you played, what is it that frustrates you in terms of the representation?
I think it's just like I've always felt like in everywhere that I go, and I don't know if I'm this is like towards video games, but like I feel like I'm too black for white people. Sorry, I feel like I'm too black for white people, and I'm not black enough for black people because like my skin tone and the center of kind of black that I am. So when I kind of like I'm still waiting because there are either white or a dark skinned person in video games. There's never like more options, and I get kind of bummed, and I'm still waiting because there's never like a skin tone for me. It's either really dark or white, or there's just not an option. So I'm kind of just like I sit back and I'm like, okay, well,
it doesn't quite.
Guess I don't have a choice.
Yeah.
Like I don't feel comfortable, but like I guess. So don't have any positive representation besides Spyro, which is an amazing video game.
Hashtag Spyro is black.
Spyro is
Hashtag Spyro is black.
We love to see it. We love to see it.
Luke, do you sort of have a similar feeling?
Yeah, I don't. So I feel like because I just haven't been as much into gaming lately. I feel like I don't have as many references, but I do agree with London in the aspect of like I think what I see now is a lot of like, okay, we have one or two black characters, and we have like such a small selection. So like now I'm like, okay, just like there's why people like to think that there's so many different versions of white.
Yeah.
There's so many different versions of black.
Yeah.
And I think that's also what we're waiting for is like, it's like we don't, like we love seeing the representation, but we're not always that one kind of black. It's like, it's like where is sort of that
Yeah.
middle ground and where are the sort of different varieties of being
Yeah.
black? Like a friend of mine were talking about how like at least in Dead by Daylight, like Claudette feels a little more of like a nerdier kind of black compared to Elodie. So we have like two kinds of black, but still like Claudette is not been rendered in the best way. And so stuff like that, it's like,
Yeah.
okay, it's like it's someone like me who is, I think, on the weirder, like I'm definitely on the weirder side of black.
Not
And
at
so
all.
finding
I don't think so.
y'all don't see me at home when the
I'm just
camera's off.
kidding. Oh,
I'm
Luke,
on the
no,
weirder
no.
side of black.
No,
Or if you
we're there with you.
catch the stream, you'll see.
You have an
I'm
alien
definitely the
smoking a
weirder side
blunt
of black.
behind you, Luke. We know you're weird.
I got the alien smoking a blunt. I got the alien
We know
Hey.
damn well.
Alien kind of looks like me though. It's
And we love
like
you
in the morning
for
when I
it.
wake up, like
Oh,
just
I love
pondering.
it. Yeah. Right. They're really thinking about the whole universe. They're looking at your
Buddy.
background like, yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
Um,
But yeah, I think that's also I think that's been my big thing, both like in gaming as well as movies and media, is like there's always like the token, or like if
Yeah.
you're like, here, we gave you two, so you're happy now, and we're like, okay, that's cute, but like you can have more than two, and like I promise
Absolutely.
you the game will still be just fine. Or like you can have
Absolutely.
more
Better
than two in a
even.
movie and it'll be, yeah, exactly,
Mhm.
it'll be better. Or same thing
Yeah.
with like draft shows. It's like you can have more than two black performers or one black performer, and I promise you the show will be great if you have
Great.
more than two. And stuff
Yeah.
like that, I think is what
Yeah.
I'm excited for.
Right.
Is like or think about like Apex Legends. I feel like there's like they have some diversity. They have like I think it's like a maybe Polynesian dude. I might be getting this wrong.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
nice.
The girl came up
And
here.
like,
I love Apex, so go ahead and ask all the
right.
questions.
I mean, I
Right.
cannot shoot to save my life. I'm always just shooting at the walls, but like, but like, so it's like we're having that, but also it's like, okay, cool. Like we're seeing that they're like, we're gonna hit a little bit of each box. We're gonna have like one black girl, one Polynesian dude, and stuff like that. So I'm like, I
Right.
love that. I want to see more characters. It's like, okay,
Mhm.
let's have more of a ratio of like, let's have it be, like why
Yeah.
have 6 white characters and 1 black character? It's like, let's
Right.
start bringing that balance more. I think that's
Yeah.
what I'm excited for, is like giving us
Right.
more options within that
You can
blackness. So
have
it's like,
you could have one white
right,
person in a group on
I
those same
love that.
logics. During that same
right,
logic, if you're gonna create a cast of characters, why not
Where's
have
my token white
one
person?
person be white and then the rest be non-white? Like, what's wrong
right.
with that?
Like
Yeah.
like
I think
Jenna
that's
Von Oy
what
on the
I'm
Parker.
excited for.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Boom.
And
Right.
I mean,
Yeah,
to piggyback off of what you were saying, Luke, not to step on your toes, but like video game selection is like the makeup aisle. It's like you got 9 options and 2 of them are people of color. Like
Mhm.
you got 9 options here at the counter and then only 2 of them are non-white. And so it's like that isn't really fair. Like
Sends
clearly
a
we see
message.
that there are different types of hue to skin
Right.
tones
Look at all
that
these.
could definitely
Yeah.
be literally look at this panel right now. Like not a single one of us could use the
Right.
same foundation as another and have it be a perfect match. Like
Nope.
that would not work. So how are the 6 of us supposed to walk into a store and purchase makeup based off of these 2 options?
Mhm.
Video gaming is the same way. How are we supposed to see and represent ourselves in gaming if we only are presented with 2 options that say, okay, these are black options?
Exactly.
Mhm.
Go for it.
Can I just
Right.
say, if I see one more goddamn Nathan Drake clone as your protagonist in your
Oh.
video game,
Don't watch American Horror Story.
I'm going to lose my mind.
Yeah. It's
There's
like
so
they
many video games that just turn me off. Me, I was like, oh, who's the protagonist in this? A white guy with a beard?
brunette.
I'm out.
Right.
I'm out.
Brunetta.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, so there was this game coming out by Bethesda called Time Loop or Death Loop. And the main 2 characters on there is a black man and a black woman.
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
I've heard
Okay. Yes. And like if you played any of the Bethesda games like Dishonored, so it's kind of like
Um,
first person, like first person shooter, kind of like parkouring type game.
Mm.
Like the perspective of it's kind of jarring at first, but once you get used to it, it's so good. I'm so excited for this game to come out because I just want to play black people.
I just
Like
want to be myself and feel
Yeah.
that.
That sounds
Yeah.
fun. That sounds fun.
Really
Like,
quick.
yeah.
I want to make sure that we hear Ivy. Do you have? You were someone that was not quick to jump in on a positive representation moment, and I know that you're on the trans panel later this evening. So I
Yeah.
mean, I know that you have multiple perspectives to speak from. So, have you felt well represented in games before?
Um, not really.
Yeah.
It's been a very downhill battle. For one, like one of the most recent games I played was Cyberpunk, where there's only like 3 options for like black people. And I was like, but there was like way more options for like lighter skin tone. The only really positive, like what I can think of is like recently with like how I keep bringing The Sims up, but like in The Sims 4,
Do it.
well, like we how Sims 4 they added like 100 plus new skin tone, and so they added so many new like black skin darker skin tone,
Yeah.
and like of different tones too. They finally got the tones right because
Mhm.
it, like because usually in games how they do like if they like the black the darker skin tones like a lot of times the tones would be really weird or they wouldn't be actually like they wouldn't be natural. But like how
Right.
in The Sims 4, there are there are warm darker skin tone option, there are neutral darker skin tone option, and then there are cool darker skin tone
Yeah.
options.
Right.
And I love that they finally added that after the game has been out for 5 years,
Yeah.
and they're just now adding that. So
It's
I'm like,
not-
I'm very
And
happy.
it's the 4th installment. Like it's not
Yeah.
even.
Well, Sims 4 was a huge setback in a lot of things because they took away the hue slider.
Yeah.
Just give us a damn slider because we will never
Yeah.
complain again if you let us
Really?
actually accurately pick our skin tone.
Because we can pick
Yes.
any color under the Tuscan sun, damn it.
Literally.
Yeah.
Not under the Tuscan sun.
I don't know why I had to
And
put
we
that
get
in
to
there.
represent Luke because they can be blue.
Yes.
Oh, Luke.
Period.
We haven't even started
So-
talking about aliens.
We have it. So and
Right.
you know,
That's another panel right there. That's
Oh
another
my
panel.
gosh.
Panel, drag aliens.
okay, so we're gonna do some.
Right.
We're gonna do a little bit
All
of.
the aliens.
We're gonna do a little bit of lightning round, just with a couple of questions. So let's
Sounds
just
great.
do really. Let's do like brief answers for this one, really quick. Finish
Okay.
this sentence. Did I say a positive representation game? There's a game called Validate, and it's a demo. It's a dating simulator, and there is so much
Come on, Malik.
representation. Come on, Malik. There and it's when I tell you that this game was made by Black people and additional people of color. Just with the way that these characters speak, with the way that they talk, it gives you so much. If you Google Validate demo, you can go to their website, find the demo, play it. There are so many characters of different sizes, multiple different gender identities. There are trans characters. There are non-binary characters. There are characters of so many different backgrounds. Check out Validate demo. It's going to be coming out in, I think, March of 2021. It's so fun. It's so fun.
On Steam?
It's is it on Steam? It might. I think it's on Steam. If you literally Google or search Validate demo, Validate game
Great.
demo, you should be able to find it.
Amazing.
I'll be tweeting it. So that's the thing.
Tweet it.
Yeah.
Finish the sentence. Being Black on Twitch is
Tiring.
tiring. What else?
Difficult.
Difficult. I also think it's pretty lit.
Struggle.
It is a struggle. I also think it's lit, to be honest.
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
I think being Black while doing those things is lit.
True.
Being Black on Twitch is.
Silence. I mean,
It's confusing.
I mean,
Right. That.
I'm gonna say it's
It's-
confusing because
yeah, I
it
would say
is.
like
Yeah.
tumultuous.
tumultuous.
That's what I would say. It's ups and downs.
Yeah.
There's amazing moments like this where Black content creators can rally together, and then there are very alienating and defeating moments.
Yeah.
Yeah,
being Black on Twitch is also hard to find.
hard. Yeah.
It's so hard to find Black content creators
Yeah.
on Twitch.
I
Like,
mean,
What's yours,
well,
Ivy? What's
yeah.
yours? What's yours?
Yeah.
Oh, I said struggle.
Yeah. I said struggle. It's tiring.
well,
And
And I said
know,
isolating.
isolating. It's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard because Twitch is not an inherently inclusive space. We can all show up
Mhm.
here, but it's not inherently inclusive. We know gaming. We know how emboldened people feel behind a keyboard and behind the anonymity of not even like you can't see these people. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I mean, I'm sure we have been called no no shortage of slurs in our time,
Mm-hmm.
no matter how long it's been on Twitch. And I think we should all just remember that it goes without saying that being Black on Twitch is fucking hard. And
Yeah.
being Black while doing a lot of things, it's fucking hard. And it's not an issue that's
Right.
exclusive to Black people, but
Mm.
just know it. And
Yeah.
anti-Blackness is a global thing
Yeah.
across
Right.
platforms, across
And I
nations.
think right, and I think especially being on Twitch, it's like making sure you stand up for your streamers that are Black, like while you're in the chat, you know, look out for your people. Like, particularly, I feel like that was the weirdest thing for me coming on Twitch was that like I would get racist trolls, but there's nothing about any of the things I'm tagging my content in that says I'm Black. So it's like
Mhm.
you're choosing to come into my chat and then be racist. Like you
Yep.
chose to scroll through and then see a thumbnail and then choose. It wasn't like, you know, like I get like maybe the LGBTQ tag. It's like, okay, you're actively seeking out seeking out someone because they're queer,
Yeah.
and then being a troll. It's like, no, you're actively coming into my chat because you see my face and then choosing to be a troll.
Right.
And that's what I think. It's like, you know, when we say be an ally, look out for us, it means like actually show up. It means like actually combat that. Like, you know, like come through, like support them. You know, give them alert, get the numbers up. Like do all those things you need to do to support the
Right.
Black creators because they
Mhm.
are the people who are actively choosing to be against them. You know.
Yeah, putting
Right.
retweet, putting BLM in your name, that's not enough anymore. I don't know when it was, to be
Yeah.
honest with you. But
Yeah.
we are at about 3 minutes left, so let's all just tell everybody where they can find us, and
Wow.
let's say one quick thing about what we love about being Black. Who wants to kick us off?
Ivy, you want to start?
Well, you can find me here on Twitch at, you know, Red Ivy with 2 Y's, not just one, 2 Y's. Always remember 2 Y's. And one thing I love about being Black, I don't know.
Is it the
What do I love
food?
about me?
It's the food, isn't it?
Oh, the food. Yeah, it's the food. I love to eat, so yeah, it's the
Come
food.
on, word.
Period.
Twitch.tv/Red Ivy with 2 Y's. Also catch them on the trans panel this evening. Who else we got?
I'll go. So catch me twitch.tv/Aphasia Speaks. I stream every Tuesday, Friday, and about every Saturday. Depends on how my week is because I watch my nephew during the week as well. But my favorite thing about being Black is just like the culture of where we come from. Because like my mom, she sews and everything like that. This is like some of her fabric that I'm wearing right now, and just like this is gorgeous. Like, come on now, like I love it. I love it.
London.
You can catch me applying for a partner in 2021 to make space for other Black POC content queer creators here on this channel. And you can catch me tonight in a whole different look, talking about digital drag and stage drag and where it came from, and how we got there. And you can also, I love being Black because I don't want to say it, but there are things we can say that, you know, white people can't. So moving on.
Ooh, let's all say it at the end. Let's all say it at the end.
Queen.
Mickey,
Sure, we're all
we're
live.
we're going over. We're going over. Let's try to
Right.
get these out.
You can find me at twitch.tv/Mickey Mirage. That's MIKKIMIRAJ. Mickey Mirage is on all social platforms, so you can check me out. Also, you can find me tomorrow during Stream Queen Cons. We are doing the Sims Drag Race Stream Queens Edition at 6:00 p.m. PST tomorrow, right here on this very same channel. And my favorite thing about being Black is having a skin tone that looks so good you could drink it, bitch. And I know y'all feel that.
Ooh, get you a glass.
I know
Get you a
y'all
glass
feel
of
that.
Mickey. And
Put
King,
me.
King Luke.
Glass only.
Okay.
Glass only. No plastic for this.
Get your ass down. Mickey can't stop. I love her. Luke,
She
what you
needs some
got?
milk.
Give me some milk.
Luke, King Luke.
Yeah, so my name is once again Luca Me, and you can find me on Twitch at Alien King Luke, spelled Luc, like the French way. You can catch me there Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, creating drag stuff, showing how to do drag on a budget, as well as struggling through games and talking about all kinds of stuff. And yeah, and hopefully getting myself officially part of Team Stream Queens in 2021.
Yes, we need to see
Hey,
it.
we love
I
that.
stare at deer in chat.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much, Sixy, for moderating.
Thank
Thank you,
y'all.
Sixy.
My name
Thank
is
you.
I'm a Betty
Much.
Black. You can find me at twitch.tv/SixyBB. My favorite thing about being Black is finding moments like this where we can come together. But when I hopped onto the team earlier this year, it was just Red Ivy that was holding it down for the Black people on the team. Now look at us. Not even a year later, we are holding it down, doing the damn thing. Luke's getting an application in. Black Lives Matter. All Black Lives Matter. Black trans lives matter.
Period.
You remember that shit.
Wakanda forever.
Find a Black person and tip them, love them, and follow them. Subscribe. Bye, everybody.
Love you
All
guys.
right, bye. Enjoy the panel.
Later, Queen.